Hi everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and today we're about to watch the first two episodes of Acolyte. Now, before I get back down into that, you're probably wondering where have I been the last few months. I've been pretty quiet. I haven't really been posting videos or reviews or anything of that some sort. Let's just say, I think the best way to describe it is that I've been really busy. I've had a lot of life-changing events in my life, ones that are very good, nothing too bad. But because of those changes that have been happening in my life, it's just been really tough to keep up with the channel. But I will try my best to actually put up more content, and of course this is the perfect time to do it because this month we have a lot of big shows coming out. I mean, the timing really worked out. And of course, like this month we have House of the Dragon, we have Bridgerton, we have The Bear, and then of course The Boys, and the way to really start off this really amazing, very fantastical era of television is with Acolyte. So I'm very excited to start off this really amazing adventure with you guys. I mean, I will definitely for sure will say that I will be doing reactions for Acolyte, House of the Dragon, and The Bear. Not The Bear, The Boys. I won't be doing The Bear. I won't be doing Bridgerton because of the fact that I don't like their style of dropping everything at once. It's just hard to keep up with. But I will be doing House of Dragon, The Boys, and Acolyte. Now, of course, let's get right down into Acolyte, of course. So Acolyte is probably the one that, a lot of people are very mixed about because of how, Star Wars has been in terms of its quality the last couple of years, especially in the TV sphere. Now, personally for me, I liked Ahsoka. I think that was actually the last show that came out from the Star Wars franchise. I think it was Ahsoka. So Ahsoka season 1. I personally liked it, but I know not a lot of people enjoyed it. I think I will give it that, that the actual show did feel more of like a Rebel show than really an Ahsoka show. So it was like Rebel season 5. But even then, I enjoyed it. But it's been, what, about 8-9 months since we've had anything Star Wars related. And of course, there was a strike, so that probably pushed off a lot of content that we haven't had in the last couple of months. So, but yeah, we definitely have a new Star Wars show now. I mean, so far the reviews that have been out have been pretty positive. I'm very intrigued about this because, I mean, this is going to be a different type of Star Wars. This is not involving the sequels, not involving the prequels, not involving the originals. This is a far different timeline that we are dealing with. This is like thousands of years before we even meet some of the characters that we already met in the Star Wars universe. So I am very intrigued to see how this show will be able to expand upon the lore that we know of Star Wars and what we will know about this High Republic era that, again, predates everything we know from, the prequels. Of course, again, a lot of people are just kind of like, why another prequel? Like, I get it. I mean, it's like, why are we keep going backwards when we should be moving forwards? But I feel like in the case like this, it's a definitely different kind of Star Wars that we're dealing with just because it is taking in a much, much, much different timeline than what we are typically used to. Like, Ahsoka's is still around in between the timeline of the originals and the sequels. Obi-Wan is right in between the prequels and then the original. So this time it's like we're in a different timeline. So I'm very intrigued to see how things work out. Again, for me, in terms of the trailers, I thought they were very interesting because it definitely gives off a different kind of Star Wars. It definitely, mixes up a bit more of that mystery feel than really kind of this action soap opera epic that we typically see of Star Wars. But I'm totally open to see how the show goes. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the first episode of...
We have unfinished business. Attack me with all your strength.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like him too. Oh, so effortless. Not even a flinch from her.
trained you. I have an unidentified Force user.
Oh, this score hits.
You.
What is that?
What are you doing here?
Alrighty. Bruh. Wait, was that just a dream? I'm assuming that's a dream.
Activate the shield immediately.
The metrics are
Duration.
on it, Captain.
Their grease grubbers are disposable.
Stop messing around, Osha.
Jedi?
Jedi.
Friends of yours?
Auto ship repair.
Sublevel, bunk 23.
Thank you for your cooperation.
George?
Oh, they know each other. Okay.
Gorpsec is about as far away from Coruscant as you can get.
So, what are you doing here then? You just wanted to pay your old friend a visit. Transferable. I needed a paycheck.
When did you join the Order?
When I was 8. Yord knows all of this.
A major concern about admitting you to the Order was your age.
And the fact that you were mourning.
My circumstances were unique, but the Jedi Council made their decision.
You-
So why are you here?
Last night, a Jedi was murdered on Ueda.
Who?
Master Indara.
The suspect
Bruh.
matched your description.
Oh.
You think that I killed her?
Where were you last night?
On this freighter, in this room. Why would I kill Indara?
If I recall correctly, Master Indara advised the Jedi Council to discontinue your training when you were...
Leaving the Jedi was the hardest thing that I've ever done, but
That's her! She killed the Jedi and ruined my boy!
It doesn't matter what I think.
Now that you've been identified,
Excellent.
I see fire. It grows larger. It consumes anything that tries to stop it.
The Force is powerful, like fire or the ocean. It is a power we must respect. Indara and I saved her from a terrible fire on Brandok.
I remember.
She saw us as her protectors. There must be some mistake.
If it were to become public that a former Jedi killed one of our own,
Our political enemies could use it against us.
discretion is important. Our justice swift, an example made. Despite
Too
your
late.
feelings for this girl,
and use the escape pods.
Okay, I applaud everyone's enthusiasm here, but that could kill us.
So you'd rather leave your fate to the Jedi?
Yes, I have faith in the Jedi.
Oh, that was a bad idea.
Can you give me a hand?
Bye-bye, Jedi killer!
Ah, this would be a good time to use the Force.
The keyboard hollows of your former Padawan. This pastime encourages sentimentality and nostalgia, and both of these emotions can lead to...
Our memories are lessons. If we don't meditate on the past,
We're doomed to repeat it.
Prisoner mutiny. Transport went down over Karlak.
and Osha,
Not
what happened to the young woman?
She helped me, and I betrayed her and took the last escape pod.
It doesn't clear for Indara's murder.
Any sign of
She survived.
she's alive? I can feel it.
I'm afraid I cannot.
Hey! Need to accompany you.
It's not what I would have planned for your first mission.
I'm ready.
And maybe so, but we need backup.
Is it Yord?
What's wrong with your?
Nothing. No, he's... Yord.
Surprisingly, I like her.
Master Soul, I thank you for choosing me for this mission. I should have brought Osha in myself. I apologize for my error.
We leave in 5 minutes.
I will redeem myself.
Yord. Put your clothes on.
Didn't know that Jedi's would steam their steam their coats, the robes, steam their robes. Is that a young her?
Osha.
Me?
Hello, sister.
Wait!
You're with me, I'm with you. Always one, but born as two.
I was one, but born as two. Interesting.
As I give you you,
And you give me me.
you remember.
May, is it really you?
Yes.
I thought you were dead. Did you kill Indara?
Yes. I will kill them all. Permission to speak freely?
You don't need to keep asking.
How well do you know this former Padawan?
Osha planet Brandok. I was there when her sister started a fire that killed her entire family. Osha was the sole survivor. I took her as my partner.
She had a sister.
Yes. She had a twin.
There
I
you
didn't know
go.
Osha was a twin.
May is dead. That was her name. May. I saw her die.
Scarlac, prepare for landing.
Clearly not. She's not dead.
Follow me.
Always caves. Yellow lightsaber, okay. So Rey was not the only one with a yellow lightsaber, guys.
Stop! In the name of the Republic and the Jedi Order!
Osha!
Saul! I didn't do it!
Step away from the edge! Osha!
Showing quite a lot of feelings for a Jedi.
May is alive.
I believe you. You need to come with us. Let's go.
But an acolyte. An acolyte kills without a weapon. An acolyte kills the dream.
We have unfinished business. Attack me with all your strength.
Jeez, okay. This is gonna be quite repetitive. Nice. This guy clearly doesn't have strong force powers.
Even if her sister was alive, May would not have the training to defeat a Jedi Master.
Osha hasn't trained in 6 years.
Let's say this twin theory holds true.
Twin
We're
theory.
working together.
Don't let fear affect you. But I believe she is responsible for Indara's murder.
I'm inclined to agree. There's been another incident. A suspect matching Osha's description broke into a local Jedi temple.
Where?
Olega. She could hardly be in your custody and committing another crime at the same time.
Finally.
Would you like me to investigate?
We're not escorting the prisoner back to...
Osha is coming with us. I believe she can help.
Master, Osha is not.
The Jedi agree with me.
Setting course for Olega.
Bunta? Really?
I'm running out of time.
You're running out of Jedi. And if you think a sleeping monk is tough, good luck defeating a Wookiee.
I have 2 Jedi to kill after Torben. And I will kill one of them without a weapon and please the Master.
In the name of peace. And peace...
Is a lie, I know.
Torben is not the serene and, as you say, impenetrable meditator. That?
I'm trying to sink into your ship so I can get some fuel levels and some vitals and...
I mean, what is that?
Oh, I got this in CorpSec. It was a crazy night with some of my crew. And you hate it.
It doesn't matter.
Cool, I didn't know
like
Star Wars had tattoos.
Do you believe the May is behind Indara's murder?
It's the only way to explain all of this. She must have survived somehow. Even though we saw her.
I wanted to save you both.
What happened that night wasn't your fault, Soul. And I wasn't a very good student.
Perhaps I wasn't a very good teacher.
Coming up on a Lega.
Do you remember me? Master Torben? I know why you took the Mirage vow. You thought this life would give you the peace you seek. But your past still haunts you.
I'm an old friend.
I offer you a choice. Confess your crime to the Jedi Council, or receive the forgiveness you seek. Right here, right now, from me.
I've been waiting for you.
Step away from the body.
I know what this looks like, but I can explain.
Do not move.
Maybe start explaining.
He was poisoned.
How do you know?
She didn't do it.
My sights were on her the entire time. I followed her when she broke off.
Smart yard.
This master was dead when we arrived.
Didn't kill himself.
This is Bunta. From my home planet.
Bunta is a poison.
Confront this imposter. Stun him, if need be. And we bring him back to the ship for questioning.
Or we skip that, and she just talks to him.
Smart.
If he's his accomplice, we can send her in. She can talk to him. We can record and monitor the conversation. That way, we have a lead on May, plus we also get a confession from him. Seems like the most logical way.
Jackie's smart.
I'm in.
Hi. Hi. You alright? You're back so early.
I wanted to see you.
You killed Torben without the poison. He will be so pleased.
Go.
No, I used it. I just wanted to thank you.
You look exactly like her. Whoa, whoa, wait. Hold on.
Back away.
Where's May?
Hold on.
We know you supplied me with the poison that killed Master Torben. We have your confession.
Wait, that isn't my thing. This is her. I didn't know what she was going to do with you. Thank you, sir. Please don't do the memory wipe thing or whatever it is you guys do.
Memory wipe.
What is
What is
your
this, Men in Black?
relationship to May?
I'm just her supplier. Yeah, I started out.
Who is he?
I thought he was with you.
Does May have a master? Is someone training her?
Listen, I have no idea what's going on with that girl. All I know is that she wants revenge on 4 Jedi. If you want to get to her, she'll be back here tonight. I'm holding something.
Not yet. I have a bad feeling about this.
What if this is a trap?
You'll stick to the plan. Do not interfere. Master Soul wants to face her on his own.
She killed my family. She destroyed had my life.
This is grief. Let it go.
You are not my master.
You want revenge. Look what revenge has done to your sister. I couldn't save her when you were children. Let me try now.
She wants to kill 4 Jedi. Stationed on Brendok 16 years ago. Indara, Torben, Kelnaka, and you. She wants to kill you.
Have faith in me. And
I see her.
It's May. She's approaching.
Headed your way.
May?
Why is she always trying to go after the lightsabers? Ah, nice.
You have I see your master has taken great pains to hide his identity. Even from you. You couldn't tell me who he is even if you wanted to.
Get out of my head, Jedi. My sister is dead!
Osha is alive.
You lie!
He speaks the truth. Osha.
Well.
Oshi?
Need to strategize.
But we know where she's going next. We must
We
move.
don't make decisions like this without meaningful discussion, Soul. We will see you soon.
This is the same shit that they did with Anakin, so.
Far. What the hell's Kofar? A relaxing forest retreat in the Outer Rim, where the Wookiee Jedi lives.
You found Kelnaka. Osha's alive.
I know. He's gone. Come on. Come on.
You had one job. You had one job. Look, you wield the Force. Those were the first 2 episodes of Acolyte. Now, there's a lot to process, of course, because a lot of things happened in a moment of, what was it? I think the first episode was like maybe 45 minutes. The second episode was about roughly 32 minutes, excluding the credits and everything. But I have to say, there's definitely a big trope going on in the Star Wars universe, and that is twins. So that was like the first thing that was going in my head. Like the moment that they had this twin, you know, this twin revelation, I was like, okay, so it's not exactly Luke and Leia, of course. Like that's not how it is. Like, it's definitely a different kind of story that we're seeing here. Like, it's not exactly what we saw with Luke and Leia. There's definitely a different sort of vibe and direction they take in the story for this one, where it's like, for some reason, neither sisters knew that the other one was still alive somehow. So definitely interesting that this is the approach that they took, because I know in the trailers they mostly focused on May, so we knew a lot more about May before the show. And then, of course, now seeing the first 2 episodes, we now know that it wasn't just May, but Amanda Stauberg is actually playing 2 characters. So, yeah, very interesting development right there. I will say this, like, I do like the whole mystery aesthetic to it. It is definitely not like, you know, the Star Wars that we do know of from the, you know, from the original sequel prequel. It's definitely not like that. I do like the thriller approach, like the mystery approach to it, just because, like, I like my mystery, so for me it's like I'm very in tune with this kind of tone, and it does show a different side of how things are in the Star Wars universe. So, but yeah, let's look into this, right? So the first episode, we got this idea that, you know, there are twins and something must have happened. Like, there was a fire that caused the death of a lot of their family members. They both assumed that the other one had died in that fire as well. We know that Osha had been recruited by the Jedi after, you know, what happened to her family. She trained with them but then left. So that's a story right there from that perspective. And then there's May, who seems to be with this rogue sort of Force user. We don't know who it is. Of course, I believe this would essentially be the Sith Lord that we would eventually know would transpire later on in that timeline. So, but yeah, lots of things to kind of digest from this. Like, again, one thing I do like is that it is a mystery. I like that mystery vibe to it. The score really hits. I love the score. I have to say, the action sequences that we do get in this show are absolutely spectacular. Like, the choreography for some of the fight scenes is actually pretty brilliant. Like, it's a very fresh taste that we get to see the Star Wars universe, because a lot of times when we do see Star Wars, right, it's usually just the blasters or the lightsaber duels. But this is like a very different approach to that. We're actually seeing far more of that hand-to-hand combat, especially coming from May. And even that one sequence that we see in the second episode, at the very end of the second episode, between May and Sol, how they're basically not, well, May's using knives as her weapons, whereas Sol doesn't even use his lightsaber at all. So it's definitely really refreshing to see a different side of, you know, of how the duels and the fights take place in Star Wars, because we don't really get to see that perspective a lot. Like, we don't see a lot of that visual in the Star Wars universe. Again, it's usually lightsabers or blasters. So I will say that the choreography is pretty great in here. The story, I will say that it does take a little bit of time to digest, because I will say, like, at least in the beginning, I was just like, oh, they already killed off Endera, like, what do we go from here? And then, of course, the story itself starts to really pick up, and then you're like, okay, I have questions, and then, okay, this happened, okay, so I have other questions. Now I'm very intrigued with what's going on. So I will say that so far, in terms of the course of the show, like what we've seen from the first 2 episodes, I am intrigued. I'm invested. I'm not gonna say that I'm like, oh, I'm dying to see the next episode or anything like that. I'm gonna go through the show slowly, because I feel like when it comes to my history with Star Wars, that things start off very well, and then it just goes downhill as we get closer and closer to the end. We're talking like Mando, Obi-Wan, like, yeah, we have a history of that. So I'm gonna take this slowly. I do appreciate what we get out of the story so far here. Again, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that the whole twin thing is still a thing here, I was like, okay. we're not straying far off from Luke and Leia, but again, it definitely is a very different story. It's not like, oh, we're seeing a repeat of Luke and Leia's story here. It's definitely very different in his whole approach to things. We get to see these characters. I will say, in terms of the characters that we do meet, I'm not gonna lie, I actually do enjoy some of them. I will say I really love Jackie, played by Daphne King. Like, if you don't know who she is, she actually played X-23 in Logan, so Logan's daughter. But yeah, I don't know why. I really like her character, even though she's not really the main character. She's not someone who has a really prominent role, or not, at least not in the more prominent role that we see with May and so Osha and with Sol. But like, I do enjoy her character. I really like her. Like, even though for a fact that she's someone who's very much on the books, who follows the rules, who obeys what the rules are. She's not someone who really shows any emotion because she knows that you're not supposed to show affection and attachment to anyone. Like, she's someone who's really keen on following on the Jedi, rules and everything. But even that being the case, I really like the fact that we get to see this interaction between her and Saul, how, she's really smart and intelligent, how she's just like calling off like Yord whenever he makes some of his mistakes, because you can tell that Yord, even though he is a knight, right, the Padawan seems to be far more sharp in what needs to be done in the moment than a knight, which is really insane, right? So I love that. I really like her character a lot. Soul I actually do like as well so far. But you can tell there's something going on in him. He's someone who is really funny, because like they say again that you're not supposed to have attachments to other people, yet you see this Jedi who clearly has like feelings for his former Padawan and wants her to be safe, even trusts her, and early on, whereas everyone else wasn't, right? So I like Soul. Yord, he's someone who's definitely like starting to grow on me more and more. I get to see him, especially that one smart move that he had where he followed Osha and made sure that, okay, this is the actual Osha and wasn't just some sort of farce, right? So I really love some of those sequences. Like, I really do like some of the characters that we see here. Osha, I mean, she's a very interesting character. I feel like I still need to know a little bit more of her. I feel like we need to see a bit more of her individual side, so that way I get the sense of this high stakes with not just what's going on around her, but between her and May. So I just need a little bit more of that depth. Hopefully we'll get more of that as we get more and more into the actual episodes and see what else transpires now that we see those two sisters finally like interacting. But yeah, so the characters I like, the score hits, the choreography is great. I just hope that we do get a little bit more of the depth, because I do get the sense that I just want a little bit more here and there, but so far it's going in a pretty good, steady direction. What else? Oh, I will say, for one thing, like, even though it is a very different kind of Star Wars, again, we're in a much different timeline. We're like 100 years before, anything that we've ever known about Star Wars. Like, we're far behind. We're going fast forward in time and past to see more of like what we know of the Jedi during the High Republic and the Galactic Empire, before the Sith Lords were even around. And seeing more of that's really refreshing. So we get to see a little bit more of just how life is like. Again, we get to see a little bit more of the details of what it's like to be training at the Jedi Temple. So that was one thing. But even with that being the case, I will say that even that, we still get to see a lot of the typical, tropes of Star Wars, right? So, again, one thing, of course, it's one thing. So that was one. We got to see a couple of references. So one was like, I have a bad feeling about this. I was like, oh, that's a clear Star Wars reference. There were some other ones I can't remember at the moment, but there were a couple of Star Wars moments that I was like, okay, this is coming straight. This is like a reference to the original sequel, prequel Star Wars, the Skywalker saga, basically. So yeah, I do like those. It's nice that we get the sense of like we still have the tinglings of Star Wars still in this show, yet it still is trying to be different by being far more of a mystery and focusing on what the Jedi Order is like and just the beginnings of what seems to be, the dark side. So that's kind of what we have going on so far. I will say I do have questions. Like, I think there's two big questions going into the show now that we've seen the first episodes. One, who is this dark figure that is training May? Like, I feel like I've been theorizing that it could be Darth Pegasus or Pegasus. I think it's called Pegasus. I am familiar with who he is. I don't know too deep into what this character is, but I'm very aware of who he is. So, and I'm starting to get the sense that maybe that's him, or it could be someone else. So who knows? And then the second question, of course, is what really happened in May and Osha's planet in Birth. That's gonna be another big question. It's like, okay, why are we seeing like why everyone's giving such disputed accounts of what happened that night? There was a fire, clearly people died, but somehow Osha and May somehow got separated, didn't know that the other one was alive, and also what really happened, right? There's the question of what really happened. Is Soul hiding something from, Osha, or vice versa? There's definitely a lot of questions going on about what really happened that night of that fire, when that fire took place. So that's going to be the second big question going into the show. Like, okay, is Soul really being genuine about what really happened that night, or is he holding a secret and that he's not fully being transparent to Osha? So that's going to be the big questions there. Like, again, I mean, if there is going to be things like that, like I feel like those are definitely a fresh take of Star Wars, because like sometimes we do have to show that, even with Jedi, right, we know for a fact that they're supposed to be the good side, right? That's how we are typically have been prone to know, to see them when we see them in Star Wars, that they're the good guys for the most part, right? But then at the same time, it's like we've seen the Rogue Ones, we've seen, things like with Anakin and all that sort of stuff, right? And it's like, okay, but that's not necessarily the case, of course. Like, we can see that there are times where even the Jedi can be wrong, where the Jedi could be in the wrong, right? And so I'm very curious to see if that's going to be a direction they're going to take, that they're going to show a darker side of the Jedi that we haven't really been able to explore, at least not in its depth. Again, I have not finished Clone Wars, so maybe I missed something in there, so probably there's something of more of that. But just having seen this and what I'm already familiar with Star Wars and what I am aware of Star Wars, there are definitely a lot of questions about what's going on, getting to explore more of the Jedi, seeing what these characters are going to do, how they're going to try and deal with May and this dark figure that we kind of get the sense that is basically a Sith Lord. What does this mean moving forward? But yeah, I think so far it's a good start. It's a good start. I think that I will continue to show for sure and see what's going to unravel as we get to see more of what these characters are going to do, what's going to be their next move. And then, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next. I feel like there's a lot of potential for the show. I just hope that it'll just continue this momentum. So far, I think the pacing, I mean, I would say, again, there's a couple areas where I was like, okay, maybe you can pick up things, or maybe they can just be a bit more deep in some of the lore, or trying to explain a little bit more of the arc or story, or just give a little bit of idea of what's going on with the character. But even that, but it's like really small, like nitpicky pieces that I have, like, it's not something I would say it's like a big concern. Like, so far I have no big concerns going on to the show as of right now. I just hope that it'll just maintain that pacing, maintain that consistency going into some of the next few episodes. Again, like, so far the reviews look good. I've now seen it for myself, and I think right now it's a really good start. I like some of the characters. I like direction of the story. I like what we've seen so far in terms of the reveals. And then we'll see if that will continue to be the case going into the next few episodes. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Acolyte. That's the first 2 episodes that we've now seen. Let me know your thoughts are now having seen the first 2 episodes. Do you think that you're now invested in the show? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think you'll continue the show? Or maybe you're already giving it a pass, or you want to give it a bit more of a chance to kind of pick up? What do you think about the characters so far? Do you like some of the characters? I already said myself that I like Jackie, I like Soul. Osha is someone who needs to kind of pick up a little bit, but I feel like I will start to like her eventually, hopefully. And Yord is someone who I'm starting to kind of like a little bit now. But let me know your thoughts. Maybe you might not feel the same way, or maybe you do. Let me know. And let me know what your theories are going into the show, right? Like, we are asking this question: who is this guy? Who is training May? What transpired? What's going on? Why is everyone giving such disputed, details and accounts of what happened this night? Lots of mystery, lots of questions going into the show. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.